Good morning and welcome back to the enclosure. It's nearing the end of January 2026 and I have basically been offline for the last 4 years, I guess, dealing with a long-term medical issue. The least, or I guess one of them is something called chronic fatigue syndrome, which starts after you have had a virus. Oh, there's Milo complaining. Anyway, I have decided that I'm going to try to do my best to push through all of the illness issues and actually start to get some work done. So I did do some work on the front of the house fascias, and that'll be under a separate video, which I'll upload sometime. But I thought I'd do a quick run through of what I'm doing now so that you can see. Many of you have never seen any part of the finished house, so this is just an example. I'm not going to do all of it because it's a mess, because I'm not doing the cleaning properly. But anyway, really the only thing in the areas that are finished that is left outstanding is the wood trim that we're going to do around here. And we wanted to wait until we were doing the whole house, so we had the same color lot of the wood all at the same time, kind of thing. And it's going to be, most likely it's going to be a fir similar to the fir that's on the doors. Still have to put a piece of glass in there and hook up the up lighting, as well as there's going to be some lights across here that shine up, potentially. What else? The clerestory has worked out really well for both allowing light and heat in, as well as in the summertime venting, naturally venting out. But this is the project for now, and I'm just going to go in and turn on some lights. So this will eventually be the media room, and it's partially drywalled, but I needed to put the ceilings on, the hydronic panels and all of that kind of stuff, which I'll explain shortly. So what I've done so far is I have marked the location for the speakers over there somewhere. Then there's light is there, there, and here. I think there's, anyway, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 lights that'll be similar to the ones that you see up there. They are gimbal, so that they can be directed any direction somewhat, so that they can be directed downwards even though they're on a slope. Those, I think, yeah, those are the 4-inch, so it'll be exactly those lights that'll go into here. So once I had that done, then I transferred those marks up onto the ceiling. You can see one right there. Outlined the size of the fixture that's going to go in, and then after that, put in the cross furring strips that create the cavity that those lights can fit in, and the cavity that the wiring goes in, and then put in the wiring and staple it in a way where it's out of the way when we drill through, but I can just reach in and take the end off the staple and connect it to the fixture. Got our protection plates on all of them. And then, for instance, that one right there is a speaker wire. So I've got 4 ceiling speakers. This is going to be a 7-2 surround sound. So 7 speakers and 2 subwoofers. Always wanted to have a professional sound area. to listen to movies and music and whatnot. So this is going to be the room. So we've just basically finished doing the furring strips and all the electrical tie-in. And now I'm going to start putting on the next layer of OSB. That will then have the holes drilled into it for all the fixtures. And then we install the hydronic panel, which is the foam strips with the aluminum transfer plates, which we'll go into later. So this is the current project. This has been, I'm ashamed to say, about 2.5 weeks work. The very first day, I just did some of the marking on the floor and the ceiling, and I ended up spending the next 3 days in bed because my back was so bad. So that's the other medical issue I'm dealing with, is some fairly severe lumbar disc degeneration. It's at the point now where the vertebrae are starting to put on spurs so that they can grow together because there isn't a disc between them anymore. I have an appointment with Change Pain, which hopefully can do some nerve blocks and give me some relief finally. And I'm also working with a surgeon who puts in the prodisc L, which is an artificial disc that takes place and basically puts you back to 100%. And it's permanent and it's long lasting and it's a great product. So I'll put a little bit of a link in the description, as well as overlay a link here with a picture of it. So that's where we're at. The backyard still is a disaster zone. Front yard's partially landscaped. Last year, 2025, I just really wasn't up to anything, both energy-wise and back-wise. I didn't do much last year at all. Just too tired, too sore, and just have to accept that. I'll show you the other room upstairs that has to be finished. So hopefully you all agree that the finished effect that I was going for is pretty good. Not 100% happy with the wall color. It ended up being too light. I wanted a warmer, a bit darker color. It looks like the ceilings are the same color. They're not. The ceiling is quite white compared to the wall color, but because the ceilings are a gloss, they reflect the color of the walls. So it changes dramatically depending on different light levels. But again, one day we'll take the effort that's going to require to repaint. It's really easy when there's nothing in the house and you just use the sprayer, but when you start getting into manual painting, it's a pain in the butt. This will be the master bedroom. So a lot of you haven't seen this for years. It is in the same shape as the media room, except I haven't started the ceiling yet. So this will be the master ensuite, or the master closet, which is a huge room. My wife will be very happy. The upper floor, one of the upper floor hydronic panels is here. That's where all the actuators are that control the zones. And you can see the big 7-inch ducting for the exhaust, which goes to the HRV. There's going to be a skylight here, and I'll take you back. I'll remind you about that in a sec. I'll take you back to the other room and show you where that is. But that's going to bring a lot of natural light in here from the clerestory above. I was able to just start having a bath in the house a couple of weeks ago because this area here was stacked up to here with materials. and the drywallers had drywalled over all my shutoff valves, so I could not put the faucets in the tub. So one of the benefits of starting is I had to obviously get everything off this OSB so I can move it to the other room, and I was able to turn off the water and put in the faucet so I can finally use it. Basically, this is going to be storage until the media room's ready to go, and then I'll move all this stuff into the media room and do this room, and then we can have the drywall people in to do the final drywall. A little bit of an alcove here that will be for probably makeup area, shoes, shoe tower, whatever, just using the space. Gorgeous large window to observe the neighborhood with. Another large one here with a deck, a door out onto the deck. The deck will only go to the beam that you see right here across. All of the rest of that is just scaffold working area. And I'm waiting until the construction's done before getting the deck done. I've got the decking material, found that on Facebook Marketplace, really cheap, like probably 20 cents on the dollar, and it's the color that we like, so there's more than enough there to do the job. What else? The bed will go in the middle here, and then there's going to be a headboard across the back that goes almost to the ceiling. And then on the other side of the headboard will be dressers. This ceiling will have the LED trough around as well for accent lighting. And then we've got the master bathroom. So there will be a double vanity here. And you can see no cutouts for any of my shutoffs. There was 2 here, there's 2 there, and there's 2 there that they covered over. So fortunately, the backside was still available to find out where they were. And then the master tub with just installed faucets so I can use it. And you can sit in the tub and look out to the garden, which is really nice. And it's, as you can see, there's lots of trees. It's very private from the other neighbors. Then another hydronic station is up there, valve station. This will be the toilet room. And there's going to be a little bit of a pull-out cap box here because this room is going to have constant air evacuation on the HRV. This will take care of all of the smells of a cat box. So just pull the tray out, empty into the toilet, put the tray back in, doors closed. There's just basically a little spot that the cat comes in, and we're good to go. This is part of the hydronic panels. This is the returns. So the PEX loop comes around and goes back out. And then just bear with me while I move a piece of wood here. This will be the master shower. So we've got a trench drain. Everything will drain to that. And it's going to be dark in here, sorry. Whoops. You guys have seen this in the past. There's the body jets and the rain shower, and there's handheld are all there. There's 4 body jets. And then, of course, lots of natural light. And we'll get solar heat from the sun on the winter days. On the summer days, the overhang of the roof pretty much blocks that out. But it's going to be a really nice effect. And even in the tub, you can sit there and just enjoy. You can have the window open during the summer and just enjoy the sounds and the breezes of summer. So that is where we're at. Let me just go back and remind you of the glass skylight there. Will be on the floor of the loft here. So that loft, I think in our use, that'll be the cat loft. I'll have a cat tree up here and things on the walls that the cats can run up on and sleep in and whatnot. And so that'll be where the cat hangs out. And probably some storage, like things like Christmas decorations and stuff like that could go up there. But if it was a family, they could put up a nice ladder, a railing across there. It's a plywood floor, so it's strong enough to put beds on and stand on and that kind of thing. And it'd be a really cool place for the kids to hang out. The windows each, you saw there was one in the bathroom, there's one here, and there's one in the hallway. They all have a window that is connected to an actuator that allows it to be opened remotely. That will open if it gets too hot. There's a temperature sensor on it. It'll open when we want to do sort of a flush of the air. Let's say we've done some cooking or something and need to evacuate, or maybe we burnt toast or something. Open all three of those and open a downstairs window, and the flow through here is really good. And then this long, I didn't talk about this long trough, whatever you want to call it, cavity in there, that's going to be a pull-out library, floor to ceiling pull-out library that will put books, CDs, music, you name it, whatever we want. Storage, long-term storage up top, like records or something, like financial records, that kind of thing. Stuff that you want to keep, but you don't need to access. Okay, so that's where we're at. I know it's been a boring 4 years. I am doing my time-lapse photos, so we'll have our as being built photos that I'll make movies out of again. And I'll do my best to proceed on all of this. One of the first things I do need to do is to work on the building science lab. And I have some computer issues that I'm sorting out, and then I can start setting up the instrumentation for the section that is what we built, and then I can start finishing the panels, the 6 test panels, and get those installed. There's some issues with stuff that's in the way to get at those panels that will be somewhat dealt with as I do these 2 unfinished rooms, and then I'll have space to get at the panels and get them out and start finishing them off. Most of them are about 60% complete, and they just need, for instance, dense packed cellulose. So I have to find somebody that can do that on several of the panels and whatnot. Okay, thanks for visiting. Sorry for the long absence. It is what it is. My motto has been accept, adapt, and advance. And hopefully this year I'm in the advanced stage. I've long since accepted that my capabilities are limited, and I just have to go with the flow. And I've adapted to that. And now I'm going to try to push through. I've got several in my medical team that are helping me deal with the chronic fatigue, and hopefully between the surgeon and change pain, we can deal with the discs. And that would be, if I can get rid of pain, that really has been a element in my life since my teens. I went to the hospital for the first time when I was 13 with a back spasm. It started out being always muscle related, and then over the decades it became skeleton related. And sitting at a chair at Comedics for 19 years, long hours at the computer, that's really what did it in and messed me up. So I've been living with, at times severe, but mostly moderate pain for my entire adult life. And it's just more recently it's become more severe as the discs have completely degenerated. Okay, as you're seeing, a nice view of the neighborhood out from the rooftop. I'm going to continue that planter, and I'm going to put it across here and down here, and that's going to be a lot of vegetables grown there. And that keeps them away from the rats and the slugs and that kind of thing. Plus, that area gets more sun, believe it or not, than a lot of areas around the yard. Because of how the roofs are, during the summertime, it gets a lot of afternoon sun as well, even though it's on the east side of the house. Okay, take her easy, and I'll try to do a journal update as well. That'll include this video and some other information. And so check in and subscribe if you want to be notified of new journal entries. That way you don't have to figure out when I'm finally going to get around to it. Take care, and hope to see you around. Cheers.